As an ex-seasonal player, there's a ton of stuff I never bothered looking into. I would grind a bit, participate in whatever the current event is, and then bounce. But now, as I look at the game with some focus, there are some standout features that I wish I had known more about as I got back into the swing of things. So, in no particular order, here are the 5 things I wish I was told as a returning player. Number 1, do the Arcane River Weeklies. So I remember doing Urta Spectrum however long ago and getting some pretty underwhelming rewards. I also don't recall, but was it always a weekly? I feel like it was a daily thing. Regardless, as I progressed and unlocked newer zones, I eventually decided to try out Ranheim Defense. And wow, this was so easy and barely took 3 minutes to complete, and then holy shit, is that 45 symbols? That's an extra 270 symbols a week. And of course I waited so long to do this that I only had to do each weekly mission once. It is important to note that if you're starting out, you will need to clear these multiple times, but still, I think it's worth it. Number 2, nodes are OP. Okay, you might be scratching your head here. Doesn't everyone know about nodes? Isn't this the first thing people look up after reaching 5th job? Well, yes, but actually no. I looked up how nodes work and what tri-nodes I needed for my main, which as a fire poison main, there's a lot. But I kind of just stopped there. Never did I realize how much damage I would gain after maxing out my nodes and only maxing them out after the free 1200 nodes we got from the 6-star event. But don't just take my word for it. Look, the difference is insane. That's over double my damage output. So yeah, go max those nodes. Number 3, Legion is free. I've talked about Legion a bit on the channel so far, so I'll keep this brief. Take your time, utilize the entirety of the 42 slots. You don't need to push to 200 before making a new character, and don't get clickbaited. Zakum Tech is not dead. Yes, you can't farm the arms every 30 minutes anymore, but it's still effectively a level a day on any character below 120 for such a minimal time investment. Keep in mind important breakpoints that add an additional 5 slots to your board, going from 2500 to 3000 or 5000 to 5500. And most importantly, have some fun with it. Who knows, you might find your next main or boss meal. Number 4, classes have skill rotations. This might be the most obvious one yet, but listen, I came from the days where my class rotation was holding down triple throw and only having to remember to rebuff every few minutes. Now, there's comprehensive infographics on each class as well as video demonstrations of how to optimize your damage. This can go a long way in making up damage on bosses where you might be lacking the gear. And there's just something so satisfying about performing to your class's full potential. Number 5, attempt the hardest bosses you can early. Bosses are easier than they appear, and this might be a personal experience, but I often found myself soloing a boss on my first attempt at them. This was the case for Guardian Angel Slime and Normal Gloom. And I'm not saying this as a flex, I really want to emphasize how much earlier I could have started doing these bosses, and how much my progression was being hindered by waiting. Solo progression is really hype, and really speaks to one's dedication and willingness to grind. But for us normies, for me, there really isn't anything wrong with finding a group and taking on bosses together. I already waited way too long to start on Lucid and Will, and now I'm watching everyone else whom I thought was near my progression speed away with their arcanes. And that's it. Let me know your thoughts, and if there was something you wish you had known about Maplestory. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate any support, and I hope to see you all next time.